My name is Aaron Lopresti. I've been a comic book artist, a commercial illustrator, and a writer for over 25 years, and this is my YouTube channel. That was an ominous intro for something that's really more fun than ominous. False advertising, I guess. Most art collectors have a sketchbook that they get their favorite artists to contribute sketches or commissions to. Well, as an artist who is also a collector, I'm no different. Now this is my black book that I get other artists to contribute to. So let's crack this thing open and see what's inside. Rather than pay someone big bucks or have an artist friend do me a huge favor, I decided to draw the opening double-page spread myself. Can you tell I'm a big Man Thing and Hard the Duck fan? You'll notice I dropped my name along with my wife Shelley's name in the gnarled swamp branches in the background. I think the whole piece accurately reflects my odd sense of humor, which seemed like a good idea for the opening piece in my own book. When it came to choosing the first artist to do a piece in my book, I knew it had to be the great Adam Hughes. Now, I'm friends with Adam, but that didn't make it any easier to get on his list. After a few months of coaxing, I got him to do this, and boy was it worth the wait. I've always been a big Alex Nino fan, and when I saw him sitting by himself at a show in San Jose, I grabbed my sketchbook and ran to his table. I asked him to do a troll or a goblin and left the rest to his imagination. He created something suitably bizarre and completely Nino. Absolutely perfect. I've known Bill Stout since we first met at DragonCon back in 1992. He's a great guy and a fantastic artist who gave me a lot of good career advice along the way, and I had to make sure he did something in my book. We're both big Edgar Rice Burroughs fans, so I had him draw me a Tars Tarkas. I'm pretty sure we traded sketches, which was a big relief to me because Bill ain't cheap. The great Michael Golden is next. I thought Batman was too obvious, so I had him do a Doctor Strange, mainly because his work on issue number 55 of the Doctor Strange comic is so brilliant. I still need to go back and have him ink this for me. Kevin Nolan was always on my list from the minute I started this book. I finally tracked him down at a show in Canada and had him draw a Jack Pumpkinhead for me. I think he was surprised I didn't ask for Batman. I also paid him in Canadian money, which means I got a pretty good deal on this one. I love Hilary Barta's EC-inspired style and his sense of humor. I coerced him into drawing a zombie for me at San Diego. He really didn't want to do it, but I made him sit in my booth until he finished it. I even had to force him to sign it. All that comes through loud and clear with what he wrote. All things considered, this Deja Thoris piece by Mark Schultz is probably the gem of the book. He had no interest in working in a book at a convention, so I talked him into taking it home with him. Much to my delight, he suggested we trade sketches. So I drew a Deja Thoris and a Tars Tarkas piece for him, and he sent me back this. I kind of feel like I made out like a bandit on this one. I met animation character designer Chris Ayers after I discovered his book, The Daily Zoo. I rather aggressively found his email and contacted him, and we became friends. Chris is a cancer survivor and started drawing an animal or creature a day to celebrate life. All of these drawings have made it into several volumes of his Daily Zoo books. I traded a Wonder Woman drawing for this great crocodile watercolor. Once again, I think I came out on top with this deal. Once again, I went after the always charming and always grumpy Hilary Barta at San Diego. This time I tried to get him to draw me Will Eisner's spirit character, which he does particularly well. But as he sat behind me at the booth and grumbled, he did this weird sci-fi scene instead. Not the spirit, but hilariously great nonetheless. Honestly, I can't wait to pick on him again. Some of you may know the great Peter DeSalle as the cover artist for the New Yorker magazine, or you may recognize him as the character designer on the films Robots and Ice Age. He was doing a book signing at the San Diego Comic-Con, and I dropped in on him and talked him into drawing this picture of Scrat, the prehistoric squirrel from Ice Age. It's one of my prized possessions in this book. Here's another piece by Alex Nino, sort of. At San Diego one year, artist David Williams showed me a piece that he had penciled and that he got Nino to ink. Genius. Nino always takes over the drawing when he inks, so it made perfect sense to me to draw something and have Nino ink it. That way I got exactly the drawing I wanted, but totally Alex Nino at the same time. I picked a zombie, of course. Travis Charest is one of the best artists ever to grace the pages of comics. Getting a piece from him is also very difficult. I had to whine and bug him for about a year, but he finally relented and did this Conan piece in my book. It's funny how often I've had to coerce artists into drawing in my book, but needless to say, I got them to do it. Mission accomplished. Speaking of coercion, my good friend Terry Dodson proved to be the most challenging to get in my book. If I hadn't done a piece for his wife and inker Rachel Dodson in her book, I never would have got this. Despite that, it still took several years for him to do this for me. Make sure you get on his list early. The last entry in my book to date is from artist Penelope Gaylord. I discovered her work at the Baltimore Comic-Con, and even though I was previously unfamiliar with her, I thought her work was fantastic, and tabbed her to do a piece from my favorite animated film, Tangled. She did a watercolor at the show and knocked it out of the park. I'm pretty sure that's it, but the question is, who's next? I'm working pretty hard to get Arthur Adams to do something in here, and a few others I will hopefully get down the road. Thanks a bunch for coming by and checking out this video. Please be a sport and like and subscribe on your way out the door, and make sure you check back soon, as I'm sure to post a new video before you know it. Also, if you get a chance, check out my website for more cool art, books, and prints. I also have a blog with lots of info on my cover work. Thanks again.